Mr. Cairo, thank you for being here today. Very proud to have a local business, a champion of innovation and technology, testifying before this august committee. Now, what you are doing is making housing more affordable with your technology. And as I see it, that's an opportunity to provide home ownership to people who would otherwise be stuck renting for the rest of their lives. Can you talk a bit about how your technology will enable working class people to aspire to and achieve the dream of home ownership?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Poilievre. It's one of our, it's actually a very important part of our philosophical underpinning that we address affordability in housing stock. It's becoming an extreme issue, not only in Ottawa, but across the country. And manufacturing practices do have a whole host of solutions that are available to address the issue. The biggest factor that is creating an affordability issue, obviously, is the cost of underlying land and the lack of land supply for urban home inventory. After that, building costs have skyrocketed, and the cost to assemble in traditional fashion homes has really skyrocketed. And
can I ask for a clarification?
Yes.
You say that land costs and land scarcity is a problem. We live in one of the most abundant countries in the world when it comes to land. We have among the lowest population densities of any nation on planet Earth. How is it possible that we have a shortage of land?
Municipalities over the last, in Ontario, but also with the previous government in Ontario, had made some pretty drastic maneuvers to intensify growth within existing urban areas instead of allowing for responsible and sustainable growth to continue outside of existing urban areas. And what that's led to is, in part, threats on existing neighborhoods that are dealing with mid-rise and high-rise buildings in their backyards, which they're very adamantly opposed to. But some of that mixed use is important. That being said, we've taken such an extreme, intensification approach to growth that the cost of a new home has dramatically increased. The demand, especially from new Canadians, is for a backyard and what Canada has to offer, by way of a lifestyle change. And forcing them into towers has been difficult. And what's happened as demand has skyrocketed relative to the little supply coming on is that new home inventory has dramatically changed in price.
Right. So basically, working class people, immigrants, want and should have the opportunity to earn a good wage and put that money towards a good home, but municipal and provincial governments prevent them from doing so by restricting their access to land, even though Canada has more space where there's no one than we have where there's anyone, even though if you spread Canadians out evenly, we'd have more than a football field for every single Canadian. Somehow we have a land shortage. That is a government failure, not a market failure. Now, that's the supply side. On the demand side, you are telling me that the cost of raw materials are rising. I've seen that these prices have gone up, corresponding with the Bank of Canada printing unprecedented amounts of money. That we've seen lumber prices go up 400%, commodity prices are up 50%, and that obviously gets baked into a house price. Are you seeing the same inflationary pressures over the last year since the central bank started printing cash?
Your referred to increased statistics are actually very much correct. And it is a severe issue in the cost of a new home.
And this is an inflation tax that hurts working class people because their wages don't go as far. But of course, it's very good news for extremely wealthy people whose assets become far more valuable. Thus, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Tell me how a company like yours can counter that unjust effect by making housing more affordable and by unleashing the power of the free enterprise system to give people the opportunity to own a home.
So traditionally, new home builders are able to prevent a whole host of competition by owning the very rare land resource. If we could create competition by manufacturing housing in a new way that's disconnected from land ownership, I think that competition for the building products in the homes themselves might trigger a more affordable housing stock. It doesn't address anywhere near the magnitude of increase in land value that's the big issue, or the taxation built into municipal fees, provincial fees, and tax. But I do think competition around manufactured product will make a positive impact on the overall affordability of new homes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cairo.